it's still there. So to be honest, like me personally, like I'm always watching, which is not even intentional, but I'm always watching these podcasts, Dear Future Wifey podcast, and all these dating. That is my favorite. I think I've watched almost every episode.
I gotta get on there.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing.
Is it a man or a woman?
He's a man.
But he has different guests.
He is single. And he tells about his journey.
Hey, Mr. Future Wifey. I'm just kidding.
I said it to Khalid. Khalid was like, I think he might be my husband.
No,
I don't even.
He's good.
But he talks about, you know what I mean?
Wait, we're not on, right?
Mm-hmm, you are.
Oh, hey. He talks about like different dynamics, right?
Yeah, he does.
Of like different things. So it's like, I mean, the world that we live in now, a lot of people that with money, very successful, they all encourage counseling. All of them.
Yes.
They all push that. So it's like, I'm in counseling currently. You know what I mean? I'm a firm believer in mentorship and counseling and all of that. So it's like, if I'm in a certain place, I need you to meet me in a certain place as well.
Yeah. Right.
Not saying like, oh, I'm delivered from everything, so you have, not that, because that's not, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's not the reality, but it's like, yeah, I expect for you to have a certain level of knowing, you know what I mean?
Like
and if you
self-awareness.
Yeah, and if you don't have that, we're going to seek that together, but before we say I do, you got to have some of these things as well on your own.
Yeah.
You need that, and I just talked to somebody about that. It was a couple. And I was like, wait, so like, do you believe that, you know what I mean?
I think that when they say every therapist should have a therapist, I think that we all should have someone to just unpack it. Because it sounds different in your head, right? You can have the biggest issue in your head, but when you go tell the person, Nikki, even when I run to you and I cry to you, right? Nikki, and I say it, I'm like, bro, it wasn't that deep.
But I guess I would say that's
it's
my
just
problem.
bigger in your head. I'm just saying it's bigger. It's good to like really unpack it.
I think that's what
I don't talk out. Like, I feel like for me to go and be like, this is what happened, da, 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 da. I don't like being a dumping person. Like, I don't like to unload on other people. I'm used to people unloading onto me. I'm trying to be that more positive person. I don't ever want to be that negative person that's just like, well, this is what's going on with me. Like,
but why does it have to be negative?
I've never
dumping and unloading.
I've never been that person. Like, I've always been the person everybody else leans on, but I don't ever lean on anybody else.
So when you're feeling drained, right, and you're like, the road's heavy today, and you gotta go meet Kat for lunch.
Tear me apart. I'm ready for it. That's why I said it. That's why I said it so you can tear me apart. It's fine. It's okay.
No, but say you're having a rough day, right, rough week, and then you go to meet Kat for lunch, right, and then Kat about to pour it on you. When do you say, like, sis, I need you? Like, when do you get your cup filled? When do you get the feedback?
I don't.
You just naturally push it down, so it just stays.
That's not okay.
It's not.
When does it come out? When you're mad?
When I'm mad, I guess you can call me a volcano.
Okay.
Like it
bottle,
just builds up.
Bottle.
And then it'll randomly be like,
okay.
And I'll go back.
That's dangerous.
It is. It is. But like I've always been that
used
positive.
to being the help.
Yeah, I'm used to always being that person for everybody else. So it's more so like,
if the help can't receive the help, you're not much help at all.
Okay.
You won't.
But that's what I'm here for, sir.
No, I'm for real.
Nice to meet you. Hello.
Thanks for coming.
You will no longer. You can only be the help for so long.
Right.
If the help does not get help.
Right.
That's right.
Like you have to allow yourself to be vulnerable and be willing. It goes into like that same category of like the strong black mind mentality.
Right.
Yes.
Well, guess what? You could be strong for so long and try to hold it together, but what happens when you're not here? Everybody else gonna fall to the ground. So like it's like that with you. You know what I mean? Like now this is sister talk. Right at this it's shifting. It's not good. You need that. Yeah. You need it even more than the average person.
Yes.
Because you're always in a position where you're always being dumped on.
If I could visually just keep pouring these in here, bro, like pouring.
Like,
come on,
like, you know, like.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest. My outlet
right.
is God for real. Like that's really where I go to. I write and I pray, and that's really where I am. Like other than that, I don't really say, okay, I'm gonna go call so and so because I just need to let it all out. Nope.
And I think that you have to be strategic too, like with who you let it out to, right? I think for me, like I have an emotional like issue going on right now that I'm dealing with, right? And the only one person that I want to talk to, I had to text her like, hey sis, can you be available at some point this week to chat? Because I know I could just lay it on her, right? Because like that's my safe person.
Right.
But for the other 100 people, I'm their safe person. So I know what you mean. I can't be weak if I'm your strength, right? If I gotta motivate you, I can't show you that I'm not motivated. But then you have to find solace in some other human, whether it's like you said, like writing and God will listen, He'll do it.
That's what
but
I think
you also have,
like, it's my thing that I also trust.
Yes.
Like, I haven't. When I built that trust with people, it's oftentimes run their mouths. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's even people in church. So it's like, okay, who can I really count on?
Right.
This pen, this paper, and the only one that won't run and tell that.
Hello.
So that's where it became more internalized. It's like, I can't even tell you because you just told them, and then that person just told them.
Oh yeah, I have a thing about that too.
How y'all all know? I just
need
told
a safe
her.
space.
Yeah, so like that safe place isn't built for me.
Right.
Well, and I think
So
that God is doing it here now, because if you're gonna have a safe space, this is the crew right here. When I say like these two women right here, I've like the deepest, darkest, ugliest experiences and like secrets. I've cried and told them. Like, this is literally like my solace. Like, I could call any of these two anytime and I know like they'll pick up, or you know what I mean. Like, and I don't always use that avenue, but I have that comfort knowing because I've been in the trenches with them. You know what I'm saying? So I think that God knows your heart, and I think that He got you. But I think He's also positioning you that you have a sisterhood too.
Right.
So we about to crack you open, sis.
Yes. And
you know, one of the things I wanted to say when it comes to therapists and psychologists and why you guys, you know, it's hard to see yourself, right? So you're in your mind and you know you're dating somebody or you're around people, you see the behaviors, right? But the thing about it is the reason why it's harder for you is because most of the time you're going to be in your feelings. So you feel for somebody, you in your feelings.
I'm a thug. What you
that's still a feeling, right? Because you thinking about it, you in your feelings. Because when you said that strong mother, right? That strong black woman. But most of the time, when we think about those people, we're like, oh, she's very strong. She's very mean.
Yeah.
She's very angry. Okay,
right.
But it's like, but in her eyes, she's very strong.
Right.
But from the outward,
I'm gonna get it done.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it done. It's like, don't play with her. She's not compassionate.
Right.
She don't got no empathy for you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know what? It's funny because it seems like your friend was explaining that strong black woman type of thing that he's probably, you know, been around or had those altercations with. But it's just hard. It's harder for you guys because you're in your feelings. So yeah, you need somebody else that could just, you know, help you, you know, bring it back around and get you out of your feelings, right? And get you to the truth, right? But also I wanted to talk about your situation. You know, with your friend. With your friend. So wait,
too much airtime.
So this is the thing. I gotta give him some more because he had sis wait for 8 years. I mean, my God, 8 years. Right. So. But my thing is, so it's so funny because you see, God did you a favor.
No, He didn't.
Because how you have a woman waiting for you for 8 years, and she's the side chick. So where's the respect for a woman? Period. Because guess what? All right,
this is what I was trying to.
Right.
Like, where is it? Where? So it's like, okay, how do you have a, you know, he had a girl, right? He had a girl, and then he had a girl on the side for 8 years. That means you've been doing your whole thing with 2 women for 8 years. So, and that's so selfish, because why would you have this woman waiting for you for 8 years?
I think the kicker for me was when he said, if I wanted to be questioned, mind you, him and his ex broke up within the last year. He said, if I wanted to be questioned, I will go back to my ex.
That's where you at.
And I said, that's where you at? That's where I'm going to meet you? That's where I'm going to leave you?
Because guess what? Guess what? If she pulled up.
Because you want to be questioned, you want to do
jerked
you,
up,
so do you, but not with
that
you.
means it's still fresh.
Yes.
So, like we were saying before, because I know we was chatting up in here last week, right? Talking about some intimate things. It's hard. It's like, if you just came out of that situation, it's no way me and you could be together. Why? Because you're still that person. It takes time to change.
Yeah.
You can't just flick a switch and all of a sudden you're such a good guy.
No, and he just said it. I think he even said, like, I haven't been the best in relationships. So I'm like, sir, I hear you. Which is, I feel like that's my strategy. Like, I heard you. I respect you. And I don't got no beef with you. It's just not for me.
Right. Yeah, because you can't. can't change just like that.
Yeah.
You can't go from
and they don't want to change. They want to play
being a player for 8 years and then all of a sudden you flying right. It don't go like that.
Yeah.
Like how can you make that habit, that behavior, all of a sudden is done? No, it doesn't happen that way.
Yeah, and then the soul tie connected with her. Now she's your safety blanket. Now every time there's a problem, you running back to miss 8 years in the waiting. Like
how can I trust you? Yes. How can you be trusted after something like that?
See,
and especially to pull up. I mean, you just pulled up.
Then I start thinking because most guys are like, oh, we changed for the right one, or oh, this.
You gotta be ready for the right one. Not change for the right one. You gotta be there. Like
you gotta be ready.
You gotta be ready for the right one. You can't. Oh, how many times a man? You're perfect. You're everything. This and that, and he's still fumbling the bag. Cause you gotta be. You know what I'm saying? You gotta. The right woman ain't gonna change, and the right man not gonna change nobody. You gotta literally be in it. You gotta be in the fight. And I feel like me, I got out the mud to be this like healthy and happy and like just self-aware. Like Nikki, tell them, Nick, you've been there. Like y'all know. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like I can't even compromise my mental health, my well-being, who I've become now because I did the work, and I just hold that next person to that same expectation. Do the work. Do the work.
I love what you said, Kat. You was like, okay, I love what you said when you said you was in it, right? And you're taking these dating. You know, those dating experiences and you know the tool to use. So sometimes each individual person has a weakness. So you identify your weakness. Well, what does that mean? Okay, that means now you got to do something so it won't be a weakness anymore. Right. So your weakness, you said, well, I feel like I'm the person that just let it dissipate, right? Mm-hmm. So then you may be in situations where you may have to be like Kat.
Yep.
Right? Because that's your weakness.
Yeah.
So now you'll be in a situation, it's going to come.
Yep.
Because it's going to have to happen for you to make that a strength.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. I was like that too. I was like that, I don't want to hurt his feelings and maybe he needs.
And you don't have to too.
Sometimes, let me love on him. He got mommy issues.
Nope.
I was that person. And then I ended up I felt like I was just a doormat. And then I got so used to being a doormat.
That's what.
And I would keep making excuses for my doormatting. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yo, sis.
Right.
Like, how far are you going to take it? Because that's a dangerous ground.
Yes, it is.
But it did come from the trauma, right? Which I had to work through. And I had to, come into a place like, oh, I got issues. Oh, okay. So I can't pretend I don't have issues anymore. Right? Because of that, not trusting and, the molestation and all that stuff. And then I had to work on the insecurities. Then it was like, oh, okay, I'm just insecure. Oh, why don't I want to speak up for myself? Why don't I want to? And what is it with the guys that I don't want to speak up myself with a man? Yeah. Like, what kind of hold he got on me? But I think it was the brokenness.
Y'all gonna make me cry. I feel like when I feel like you mentioned the molestation. I feel like in those moments they take your voice, right? Yes, and you had to gain it back. Yes. And now I'm not gonna shut up. Now I'm gonna say it, even if it hurts your feelings. I'm not a mean person, right? Yes. So I'm gonna lay it on you in a nice way. But I'm not gonna not use my voice. Right. And you talked about being in situations like going over someone's house late at night or letting somebody in your space, right? Setting those boundaries. I have to extra set those boundaries.
Yes, same.
To not put myself in situations where my voice could possibly be taken from me. You know what I mean? And if you cannot respect that, you're not for me. If you gotta ask me why are you celibate or why you don't want me to go over your house late or why can't I just come watch a movie with you? If you gotta even push on a topic, you're not respecting my boundary and you're not for me. Yes. Because the person that's for me will respect my boundary and make me feel safe to use my voice. Yes. I will never be shut up again, bro. Ever. Like never. Not for the sake of nobody's feelings.
That's right.
Say that.
Come on, friend.
Your feelings.
Come on.
For the sake of your feelings.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's so true. And the thing about it too, when you're in these situations, right? It's a testing. So some of us is like, okay, say if you do, because I've done it in the beginning. I might still, test the waters. It's like, oh wait, I'm strong enough. I can do it. All right. But the feeling that I feel when I'm there, the uncomfortableness.
The awkward. You don't even look comfortable. You look right. You look like you don't want to be bothered.
Get out of there, right? Yes. But then that shows me where I'm at. that means, okay, first of all, I'm still the tester.
Mm-hmm.
I still like to play, right? So I need to calm down on that, get myself together, and figure out why I like to play.
You like to splash in puddles, but not jump in the pool.
I like to play.
Poke the bear, but I don't want to play with it.
Come on. I like to play. You feel me?
Right.
So I think it's like testing yourself and the person. Like you're testing yourself to see if you can handle it.
Right.
How would you react? Are you healed? Can you really get out of this situation? And then you test them to see if they're gonna try you. But I feel like we're old enough to know we don't even gotta play.
Come on,
like,
that's
I don't gotta
the thing.
test you, test me, test us. Like let's just do this in a natural. Hello. Let's just do this in a different setting. Like I think that's why too when it comes to dating, I don't like that formality. I want to just get to know you, cut the crap. Like let's kick it, right? Can I be myself, you be yourself, and then we'll just kind of take it from there. Because I really go into dating with no expectation that you're gonna be my husband. Like,
right.
But even then, you get the representative. It's not always the true person. 100.
It's not.
So you still gotta go through the process.
It's still
of dating and
interviewing.
It's still an ongoing thing of learning. There are people married for 50 years still learning because it's ever changing. So you.
But I think we have to have like hard boundaries.
Who got their phone on? I need to see people. I need to see if somebody's
I feel like we have to
Mine
like
is delayed and doesn't like me right now.
It's delayed. But yeah, I see what you're saying, like the process, right? Because they're not really showing you who they really are.
No,
they're not. It's definitely representative, and I think that's where it comes back to me just being so honest. Like I try to just be so like upfront.
Twan is on. He said, "Oh really?"
Twan it on.
Okay, ladies, lucky I'm not there. I got some questions for y'all.
Shoot them out.
Shoot them, Twan.
There you go. There you go.
Kayla with the gun.
Bring them on.
Right.
Look,
We need a man. We definitely can use a male perspective.
Oh, that is me. I'm not. Yeah.
Shay said he was asking questions,
a
but
real
we didn't
good
read.
conversation, though.
Yeah, for real.
So we definitely have to do the beanbag,
I know.
hot cocoa,
So I can say Indian fashion.
pajamas, blankies.
Happy about your crisscross legs.
You feel me?
Right.
Oh wait, Britt, you was gonna say something. Did you already say
Wait.
it? Or did I miss it?
You definitely told her
it?
to hold it, and then we never.
I know.
Unhold.
Britt, because she
We
got
also
be
got
sitting over
sidetracked
there
on
like
the dating
a
questions,
5-year-old
too. Somebody
waiting
asked
their
who was
turn.
currently dating.
I
We
raised
definitely
my
didn't
hand.
answer.
Did you forget, Britt? I'm sorry.
Because that's nobody been
No, I'm still holding it.
No, I was like,
Britt
please
did not
forget.
forget. Okay, go ahead, Britt.
No,
Britt did not forget.
I'm over that part. The conversation has changed.
What's the new part?
I
then?
still
What's the
wait.
new
No,
part?
it's
There's
the
always
reason why I
something
asked
new.
you. It came up in my mind, so that means
About her.
Because
Let her have it.
Did you
right.
think about it too?
Yeah, I still want to know yes or
Yeah, because
no.
we both. It came up, so that means you're supposed
Oh
to say
my
it.
gosh,
No,
y'all.
we
We
didn't.
on live, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. She said she's not gonna let it go.
She wants to read me
Come
and
on.
Between us.
Yeah, because I think we got.
I already know her answer,
Come
that's
on,
why.
Brett. Do it.
I would rather talk about Caleb, but because I'm a team player.
It's okay.
No, do it.
Do whatever.
Let's
you
be
want.
real.
So
Let's just
I
be real.
I don't know if you to date a therapist. I'm sure that you will want to be able to identify your own emotions because a therapist will help you identify them. But I don't think he has to have some type of spiritual or mental foundation, right? So to me, I know that I have wisdom. He may never have wisdom, right? So I may be able to see a lot more than the average person.
Right.
So I'm not looking for you to be able to see me clearly. I'm looking for you to be able to see yourself clearly. So I don't know if that's through counseling. I think I learn best from teachers.
Yeah.
Right. So in church today we're learning about the fivefold. I could talk to other therapists, but teachers teach me how to apply it. Right. Evangelists convict me to be like, oh, that is totally wrong. God is not happy. Right. So it's like, I think for me it's almost about like, I think because of who I am to God, I'm going to need to date somebody who is also in a place where he understands the weight of my ministry. So I don't know if it's like you need to be a lawyer, a pastor, have a PhD, because you could be the smartest person in a room, but just start a business, and to people it might not look like you're everything, but to me I'm like, oh my God, look at him build this house. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think the challenges comes from us trying to be the fixer instead of just allowing God to work on him as he work on us.
Right.
So like not going into a relationship with the rescuer complex. But like, first of all, nigga, I need to be saved because I'm tired of carrying this weight. You know what I'm saying? So like,
let them know.
Right.
I'm tired of carrying this weight of other people's emotions. So like,
yes.
I'm not gonna lie. I had a nigga that could handle my emotions. I couldn't handle him handling me. So I was like, I don't like him.
Wow.
But
no,
he was
probably the one.
Yeah, like
because that's what I'm listening. No,
Like,
for me, I think too. I think we touched on it before we got live, but I feel like for me, and the reason why I'm so hard about someone doing the work is because we gotta play face everywhere we go. I gotta be the strong one. I wanna go home to my man and cry and be like, baby, like, like I wanna melt in your arms and you understand me and protect me. I want someone to like understand my soul, like you know what I mean, like my like.
You better want Jesus.
You know,
she said my soul.
I'm just saying, like, like they see the external and like, but I want someone to like understand.
Well, I think the goal
the goal. Do it already.
Do it, Lord. I know you out there.
Yo, when they be like, do it for me, God.
Do it for me, God.
I did.
I think the goal of being a clinician is having.
I need a clinician husband. Okay.
No.
I think y'all be sitting up there.
He gonna be like
analyzing each other.
I don't want that.
You don't think no?
No, I think that just opposites attract. Like you don't want somebody like you.
I want someone compassionate though.
Yeah, you don't want like. To me, it's more about like. Can you handle that's why I keep talking about
the burden that comes with.
Yeah, because some days like somebody shared something with me yesterday that they went to go talk to somebody and they just dumped something that happened to them, and in that they got a confession that they couldn't handle, but then they exploded because they felt like, wow, I just needed somebody. But the thing about being honest is that it might trump honesty. So now you telling me all this stuff and you like the spirit might convict me to not lie to you because you got all that. Let me get me out the way. You know what I'm saying? Like she was telling this person, something. The person was like, "Oh yeah, I kind of still like this person." So it was like, you know what I mean? So I think it's just being like vulnerable enough to know like it's courageous to put yourself out there. Like you know what I mean?
See, I don't think I have an issue putting myself out there. I think I have an issue being understood.
Nah. Okay. So right. So.
Being like, is it understood? I don't know.
So
because I could be vulnerable to an extent. I think I could be vulnerable, but I think maybe someone that really like I feel like that will understand me.
So this will help me. A lot of times, my love language is acts of service.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think it's time and affirmation because I ain't been around no niggas in a while. So let's hang out. I got time. We can't hang out in the house, but let's go out. I don't mind going ice skating. I don't mind doing,
I'm coming with the questions.
What's the question?
You still be.
I'm going back and forth in the comments with them. Go ahead.
I know. You did a thing.
I was wondering what you was doing.
So she definitely is going back and forth. So which question?
He said, tell me why as humans we can't just be a vibe and understand the goal at the end is to see if we're compatible enough to start a serious relationship with each other.
I think that's good. A vibe.
I'm not digging the vibe wave.
Because what I was saying in the comments was, are we vibing with intentions? Like, don't just say we're vibing. Oh, we're just going to ride the wave, we're vibe. No, like, what is the end goal? What are we trying to do? Right. I understand while we're vibing, I get it. We're getting to know each other. Understood, that's fine. But at the same time, we're not going to be vibing for 5 years.
Hello?
No, we're not vibing for 5
years. Not even 6 months.
We're not.
6 months.
Yeah, we'll get to know each other after 6 months. Like, what are we doing?
Right. This is like by now, within some months, you should know
or is you not? Like,
where the vibe is going.
On what you define as a vibe, because everybody's vibe is not the same
so I'm saying,
vibe.
I don't know like terminology.
Yeah,
that's why I was like, if the vibe is mutual and it's an understanding of this is where we are.
Yeah, with intention.
Then I
like if you're saying, hey, I'm open to a relationship, I'm open to whatever, my future goals are this, but let's take our time to get to know each other. That we could vibe in that sense, but like I need to know what your end goal is. Like, what are you looking for?
I used to vibe for a long time.
And I vibe for a little bit too long, and I'm not vibing with you no more.
Yeah. You know what you want to do? Oh, okay, so do I. What are you doing?
And we can take our time. There's no pressure. You don't gotta wife me because whatever, like, but just know where you, like, just be honest of where you're headed. And I love, we were talking about earlier, I love when they just show you where they're at. I just love that. Yeah, tell me you don't want nothing serious. Please say it.
Most of the time, the vibe
tell me
is
you just want to have a good time. Tell me you don't want marriage. Let me know.
Like, we're out and we vibing. The vibe is going to tell. The vibe is going to show you. So, depending on the vibe, it's like, I maybe not want to deal with you. Because even in the vibe, you getting to know that person. So, you know, we said earlier, like, you don't really get to know them in the beginning. So the vibe is always going to be good in the beginning, right? Right. But you got to hit that certain mark. Give them about, I ain't going to say it because they're going to be like, oh, that's the secret.
Wait, what's the mark?
That's for the ladies to try because you're taking notes.
He done put 5 other questions in this chat.
Oh, okay.
The thing about it is, I'm not going to give you everything all at one time. I'm gonna see what you can handle. You know, like I'm not gonna come on a date and tell you all my business. No,
never.
We chilling. Like I'm gonna see what's going on, and then I give you a little something. See what you do with that. Then give you a little something, because most times also, and this is, and I do have a question for you guys. But Twine got 50 questions.
Just put them on FaceTime at this point.
Wait, we could put them on FaceTime?
We could video chat them. Add them to the...
Let me see something. I think I saw that.
Oh, you saying you can put it and hook it up on the thing?
Yeah, like if you add him, can't you like go in the...
You can input a person.
He said vibe is slang. Don't quote it as high school vibing. We're grown.
No, we are grown.
But everybody's definition as a grown person for vibing is very different.
It's very different.
Like,
apparently there's levels of vibing, and I found that out the wrong way.
Yeah.
Because we on YouTube too at the same time. Yeah, and most times when you vibing with somebody, honestly, they show their childish ways.
Right.
But that's why I think that if you are dealing with someone for an extent of time, I think that it is worth to have that conversation, like why this isn't going to work out. I feel like we should just be transparent enough. Yeah. If you put time in, I feel like it hurts, and sometimes because I'm a ghoster for real. Y'all see? Did y'all see when I posted my blacklist on Facebook? No. My blacklist on my phone is so long, right? So I feel like my challenge to myself is to not feel like I have to ghost people or block them. I could just vocalize.
So that's
it's my own challenge, but my block list is like huge. Like
Brittany said, "Thank you." That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, she's like, "Thank you, God, you do it." But no, I'll be doing it. I don't even know God want me to block them. I'll just be blocking them, and it'd be for like little stuff. But I feel like as a human, I should not little, but it's just stuff that I probably don't want to deal with, right? But I feel like if me and this person had an extensive relationship past just like normal talking, I could be adult enough to say, hey, I honestly shared this with you, and when you reacted, it made me hesitate where we were going. Or when I shared my problem, when we had this confrontation, I don't feel like you handled it the way that I would want the person I'm dealing with to handle it. Right. Mm-hmm. And just share that, because it could have just been a miscommunication. Maybe it could be something y'all could have worked on, but we're so used to shutting down, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
When do you work through when do you work through that? When do you find someone to work? You know what I'm saying? I think you learn about a person when you are able to have a resolution. Yeah. So
I see what you're saying.
Shay, can you come on? I'm ready. I think we need some role plays.
What's one of his questions?
He said, oh wait, so we skipping that question when you said, are y'all ladies seeing anyone at the moment? Is anybody seeing anyone at the moment in here?
I don't want to give him too much credit.
I don't know, right? Like, we chatting.
I guess we'll use vibe. We're vibing.
That's the one. We're vibing.
I'm done.
And he watching. Hey boo.
What part?
Who watching?
What part should a woman play in a relationship to a man?
What?
What part should a woman play in a relationship to a man?
I don't know, cause I'm honestly trying to figure that out still, cause I don't want to be your equal, but I'm not trying to be less than you either. Like I still have work to do in that area where I need to like.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm laughing.
She's just cracking up.
Brittany.
Ask them.
A helpmate. We should be a helpmate.
Yeah, like a partnership. A partnership.
In a relationship, you want to have traits of a helpmate. Not, I'm saying, we're not. He didn't ask about the time of the relationship, but you want to be. You know how sometimes you could be a hindrance to somebody, like our own. Like we bleed on people. That's why relationships is like. I give you me in exchange for you. So like, I got like you dating somebody die in his family. It don't matter what part of the relationship you start dating him in January, his birthday in February. Naturally, you gonna want to give. You know what I mean? So it's like to me, I think it like with I think with anything, it should be a support that is, you know, established as you go on. Like it's like I may not be able not do something for you because I might not feel bad about doing something for you, but what I don't want to do is become bitter after I do it. Right. Yeah. I mean, because some people have a capacity to be like, yo, like I'm not saying you should feed the nigga every time you go to work, but say you dating somebody they not eating. You know what I mean? You like, you know what? Today, I just want to give them something to eat. That's all you do. But you know what I mean? Like, what is the?
I'm looking at.
She like he got a part and there's a wall around the
facial commentary because you like me.
Very well.
You said we gotta work on
that's your natural thing.
Yeah, it's like so not. I think what I would say to Twan, a woman to a man is. You guys are supposed to be what each other need. It's a subjective question. It's too large of a idea. What I want to be is your peace during a bad day, and I want you to be my peace. But how does that look?
But sometimes
it's tailored to the individual.
It's tailored to the situation. Because I'm a basketball coach. So, nigga, I need you to answer the phone because we just lost by 30. Right. And I don't want you. Once I told you we lost by 30, you know what I mean? That's you know. He could be like, "Yo, how did the ladies do? Did they try?" He's like, you know, he might be able to say, you know, they're just teenagers. They'll be all right. Just encourage them. That might be all I need as a coach. Right. You know what I mean? So it's tailored to what season he's in and what what. So I think for us, we're saying as therapists or leaders in a ministry or what type of role you have. You're gonna need more emotional support because you're giving more out.
Yes.
Right. So
I don't want no weak man.
So you
none of that. Shake them off, sis.
I don't want no weak stuff.
Yeah, I feel like she's about to go.
Okay.
All right. Because you know why? All right. Just imagine like the type of people that you are, right? Because
strong, independent woman.
If you're that type of, like you said. You got to be able to handle my capacity, right? My emotional capacity. So then you're going to need somebody who's strong in that area, right? So that's not going to be something you're going to compromise. That's not something on your list where you're going to take off because he got all the other ones. That if that's number one, that's number one. You already know you need that, period. He's not going to develop that later, all right? Because that's something that's going to be in him. He done been through some stuff already. He done experienced some stuff already, and so he ready for you, right? That's the one thing that you know you have to have. So he has to be ready in that area. So then the other stuff, it's like, okay, but that's why each person has to think about what are you willing to compromise, because you ain't gonna get everything on your list. Okay?
You're not.
We already know.
And we should be realistic.
Yeah, we're not gonna get everything. He's not gonna be everything we need, because guess what?
And he's probably gonna be packaged way different than what we're expecting too.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
So that's the other thing too. I think being open-minded, like you might not look like the typical, and I don't mean just physical, but like the typical person, right? It might come in a different package, but
that's
like
right.
Being able to acknowledge, like, but wait, you might be good for me.
Yes.
You know.
I was gonna ask
okay
what y'all. I'm sorry. I was gonna ask what y'all thought about dating outside of your race too.
I'm for
because
it.
y'all were talking about packaging and it might not come how you want
it.
No.
I seen this young boy at Home Depot like. He keep carrying this wood around.
Your acts of service is really your thing. She just wants to see somebody do some work.
Yo, I'm telling you.
She like lift it, press it, put it up.
I'm like, yo, you ain't in management yet? Like,
the way you
carry that wood around.
The little.
So what's his nationality?
He
Latino.
He look mixed with everything that I like.
He's mixed with on, what she said. He's mixed with on, and that's all there is.
Don't forget the strength.
I walk around. He's like, yo, we play basketball. They always identify me with playing basketball. So I used to play basketball.
Come on, loving
with him.
basketball.
So I be seeing him
Come on,
every time I
loving
go
water,
to the stores.
Loving the water jug.
Loving a basketball type of
Yeah, every time I go to, that's my help.
So that's a
Yes,
yes. That's a strong
Yes,
yes.
mine. It was the
I
possessive
don't know
yes.
how to
Mine.
move past
Never
the like
The my help.
uncomfortability of seeing him every time. Like the music at Home Depot be cute. I be like, God, are you like speaking to the airwaves? Because I ain't hearing this. I went there for a lock. Yeah, I start asking. I'm like, I need a door. I need a lock for the door. And I go, I'm like, windows. You guys saw? I just start making up stuff. I made him pick up 10 bags of mulch.
But you used the mulch.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I'm like
one of those.
No, and then I got the rocks. No.
Okay, you
But
used
I'm
it.
saying it's this thing when I walk in there. So at first I was like, somebody prophesied to me that I was going to be with somebody outside of my race, and as an advocate for the blacks, it was very hard for me to like be okay with that. But then I start opening my eyes and seeing these people got raised different in different cultures. So I said, "Oh, hey, Mister, I don't know where you're from, what tribe, but you believe."
I was about to say, because when you say these blacks, a lot of people don't consider like people from Africa, because I've been known to date a few Africans like that. I like that. That's my judge. Like, so do you consider that as outside of black?
Well, that's what
Does
they
that make sense?
Yeah, for some people that is.
Yeah, I know some
Because
black
it's
people
outside
that's
of their
like,
personal culture.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Americans, they be like, I ain't dating no African.
Yeah.
They're this. Well, they all right.
There definitely is a stereotype.
Okay, how honest are we gonna be today?
All the way.
Okay, so listen.
You called
I'm all for like, I love different cultures. Like, teach me something new, right? But I feel like there is one particular. We talked about it earlier. I don't think I will cross that line. I'm sorry.
Tell us which one.
It's not racism, it's perspective.
The unmelanated.
It isn't. Yeah.
Yes, if you are unmelanated, please do
What
not
does that
contact
mean?
me. If you are my complexion, do not call me.
That is
melanated.
You just said, now you gonna call me out. I'm just not interested.
The lack of
barely got melanated.
You don't have no complexion.
No, but you have it.
Like it was.
There's drip drops.
I just didn't want to say it. I really prefer, for me, my preference is like black and Latino are my preference.
What's your name?
Catalina.
I'm really proud of you communicating.
For saying that, I really she's like for being a grown up and owning it.
I'm just trying to make Brittany proud.
We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, I'm really proud of you for communicating.
Yeah,
That was big. Give me some. That was big.
Wait,
I take my judgment back. That was big.
give me something to make
my
Brittany
God.
proud. I can do it.
She's
I gotta do it.
Wait, what?
I gotta make Brittany proud because somebody asked me a question.
Okay.
What you
Tell
like,
them who
Kayla?
you don't date. Tell them. Tell them, Kayla.
Oh, I'm in the same boat.
Hello.
If it ain't brown, I frown.
No.
I don't know.
Nigga, brown, I frown.
Really?
If it ain't black, I'm not coming back.
Yo, these are all new.
Show, guys.
We're just being silly.
Wait,
y'all,
what
but for
about
real,
you, Nick?
I like a little culture. I just
Yeah.
Oh, you
like
say you
it.
like
Same.
Africans. No, what?
I'm international. I don't know who he would be. I'm really like,
She said I'm international.
yeah.
Listen,
But white guys never approach me.
me either.
Yeah, I don't know why.
They
I've never had that
have, but I
conversation.
always put them in the friend zone because I know
Really?
it would,
Oh yeah, they don't.
there's
care.
no intimacy, there's no physical attraction there for me. Like, I will say, oh my god, you're so cute. Da, da, da.
Right.
But no, that's where it ends.
You're cute, like you're
See,
cute. Like
I'm like
cute.
indecisive.
This deep.
I'm very indecisive.
I didn't know.
So wait, okay. So now you gotta share. Do you have a?
She's in
no-go
her
zone?
moment. She was breaking something. I was gonna.
I was trying to just make you happy, and I actually opened
She
up.
shared it too.
She wanted you to give her a pound.
No, but you didn't share anything
say,
serious.
I didn't share the part that
She
you
know
wanted to
because
know.
remember
Who
she's
said
working
that?
on vulnerability. You're doing great.
Yeah, Danny already know.
See, I've done the work,
Okay,
sis.
Yeah,
You see it.
so she working on getting
well, I
friends
got
and
you
opening
that.
up and
yes.
getting.
It's about
So
that.
I'm just trying to see what she gonna unpack.
I'm trying to think.
But the guy at Home
Yeah, because you was a
Depot.
lot more sharing before the camera went on.
Yeah.
Wow. Why are we
But I
doing
love that about you because you know what that means, that like
'Cause we
you
all-
really mess with me, sis. Like we really
That
connected.
sounds like if anybody asks, I'll answer. I don't.
No,
have a
we
problem
don't.
with
We
that.
don't want to go digging because you have trust
Yeah,
issues. So
we
we
don't
want
want-
you to share at the level of your comfortability. So
that.
something, you know, like just something like
We want you to
I think people
succeed.
never ask therapists like, "What is your emotional capacity?" That's sometimes what I try to ask people, like, "Can you handle this right now?" And I love when people tell me they can't handle it. Like, I be the part of me that needed them be mad, but the part of me that know what it's like to not have it, I be like, yes, that's right. You right. I'm glad you don't have it. I'm talking to you.
I'll be in the car like,
I'm gonna call you back
now.
look, I'm gonna call you back in 5 minutes because I want you to have it when I'm over
I'm
this.
ready.
But just no, like anything, like you talked about. I wanted to get on this. Sorry, guys, it's the therapist and me. This is my sister, so I gotta make sure she all right.
We doing therapy.
She got church hurt and stuff. Like I've been.
Wait, you about to go into a counseling session?
No.
Oh, because I know how you get, Britt.
No. This is the
She
podcast.
said no, not here.
I'm just
I was gonna say, it doesn't bother me.
okay.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
No, I really like what you shared about like your vulnerability and like not having a safe space and like being strong all the time, because I identify with that, and like doing this podcast started to open up some stuff, because you'd be surprised what that camera make you say, because it's like they can't see you but they can feel you,
Right.
you know. And it was people like you that encouraged me when I was like, can I be real? And you like, be real. You know, so I just want to say that in person, you can be real here.
Oh,
You know what I mean? That
I think I was a little too real. I got a couple messages on my phone.
Really?
You in trouble?
Says don't talk about it.
Well, let me tell y'all something. Kat's gonna continue to share whatever she wants to share.
Because I'm the new
And-
co-host permanently, so I mean.
Okay, let me find out.
Wait, no. Not yet. We working on it.
Yeah, and I got a story for that myself. So you gotta watch it now.
Okay.
Because, but first we gotta stay on camera.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, because you keep doing this to us, Kayla. You keep doing
How you
this.
doing?
Yeah. Rap.
I'm wrapped. What you want to know?
You already unwrapped.
What y'all doing
Kayla,
today?
Nikki has the question for you. I think Nikki has the question. Remember what she shared about like vulnerability and like her lack of trust within female friendships and relationships, and like learning that she's an emotional dump tank but not really dumping on others. I'm a good listener.
I am. Yeah, that's good.
And
You're
so,
right.
how would we as sisters encourage her that is okay to start to peel back? And how do we help her identify what are safe spaces in? You know, like how do we encourage her to be more open, not only on the show, after party,
But in
next
life,
week. Yeah, in life.
I think one, it's a decision that you have to make to say like, I'm going to allow myself to trust. You know what I mean? This circle here, and that knowing that after the cameras go off, like this is really who we are. But and sometimes it's like I learned that like in relationships you have to define a relationship. So sometimes we only define relationships as those that we're intimate with, right? But relationships are all around. So
Right.
friendships are a relationship, and I would say you know, like asking, like I know people who have said, I'm going to share this with you, don't tell anyone. So it's kind of like, well, why would I tell anyone?
Because they're used to
But
it.
then exactly. So you saying that to us,
It's
to
like
me,
setting the expectation, like.
Right.
exactly.
Right.
So to me, I would personally say to you, like, whatever we speak about, you know, personally, that will always stay between us. You know what I mean? Things that we talk about on here are already public information. Right. But that's what I would say. You know what I mean? And just even within this circle, I know that to be true with everyone here. You know what I mean? Believe it or not, like, because we're all connected in certain facets. But
Right.
yeah, it's funny because when she said that, of course, my heart went out to her like, dag, because sometimes I don't think that we realize what it is that we do have.
Right.
And I was sharing this at a women's event. And I said, I was sharing about like what I felt like was the worst time of my life. And I said, I actually had people to walk through those stages with me, where I was very vulnerable, where I shared my ugliest stage, where like my faith was completely low, and these people like walked alongside of me, and I'm not in that place anymore.
Yeah, see, I've never had that. Like I battled like with depression and like low self-esteem, like for a very, very long period of time in my life. And even my last relationship was very abusive and very, like, it tore me down again. So it was like I built myself up and got teared down again. Then I did go to people that I thought I could really, and it was within church. So yes, the church hurt is there too. So it was just like, dang, like I really can't talk to anybody. So I've gone on pretty much every important factor of my life. I've always kept it to myself.
Yeah.
Like nobody would really know the story of Kayla Woods if nobody ever really asked. Because nobody, even my closest people that I call my best friend, my sister, my mom, I never even shared with them. So if you never asked, you never would know.
Okay.
So for you to feel safe, you think if someone asks, then you're willing to share.
I'm willing to share.
You just feel like no one's asked you, so
right. Nobody's ever really asked.
Like they cared enough.
Right.
To
So
ask.
it was like, yeah. So
but do you
like,
think it's because?
I'm not telling
Wait, hold up.
The
Do you think
position
it's
she's at.
because you look like you have it together?
I do. I carry very like everything. I've fallen apart. I'm good. Thanks for asking. How are you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna switch it up. Like it's going right back to you.
Right.
Nobody would ever know the pain that's behind my smile. I'm gonna be very honest.
Yeah. Yes. No, I definitely can understand that because I think that I've been through hurt with like friendships where I would be vulnerable. But I think the same way we're dating, right, and we're like experimenting, I would experiment that with like your friends and your family, right? And like, what can they handle, right? Like, what if with your best friend, you never gave her something real deep, but what if you did give her a little bit and she nurtured that, and then now you know that's safe to do a little bit more, right? I think I would just say a strategy, I would just start experimenting on the people you love. Hey, today was a rough day. See what they do with that, right? If they pay you no mind, then you're not my safe place. That's fine, right? But like keep like little, it's like almost like little seeds, and just see who really nurtures that and lets it grow, right? And it might be like somebody completely new, which is fine because I'm that person, but I'm also gonna share too. So we gonna have to just go back and forth.
Listen, I'm cool with that.
But I think also you have to allow yourself to look vulnerable, right? Because if someone thinks that you have it together, they're always going to come to you for advice because they want to be where you're at. And I think that a lot of healing is being transparent, because if someone knew what you really dealt with, you really could probably heal way more people than you're touching now. And I think, like, for me, that's why I tend to be more in, like, female groups, close setting, not, like, publicly, but I'll usually share a lot of, like, personal things because I want to be relatable, so that girl in the back rooms is not sharing nothing. I want to touch her spirit. You know what I'm saying? I want her to know, like, sis, I've been there and I overcome. But I think you just try to challenge yourself for the next year to be a little bit more vulnerable and see. You might be surprised that people might come to your aid and you don't got to be as strong.
Very much strong for the Lord.
She's like, the Lord God is here. And I don't need none of y'all. And that's cool.
We here.
Just to do that is going to be hard for you.
Yeah.
But just digest it, right? You might have to think on it.
That's why she said a little bit at a time. Right, but also, and she also gave you, key factors to look at to see, okay, if that's not a safe place or not, But also, I wanted to share with you.
Yes.
So when you share, right? All right. Say when you share, it's hard because you're used to being the strong person, right? But now you got to turn it around. Now you got to look at you sharing as you being strong.
That word.
You are the strong person, so you're sharing.
Because not sharing is actually being weak. Because it's kind of like a trick, and it's a perspective that you have to look at. Because it's a lie. It's a lie. It's like, oh, I keep all this stuff to me. I'm strong. But because you're hurting, so you're not strong.
Right.
Because inside you are hurting. So there's no way you can be strong. So now you got to turn it around and say, okay, what is the real truth? The real truth is I'm not strong. The real truth, my strength is me sharing. My strength is me being vulnerable, right? And then it's not going to feel like that right away, because it's like going to be like, dang, why did I do that? Like, why did I say that?
And it feels like exposure. Right?
Yeah.
It feels like I just, like, right now I'm like, oh my gosh, right? But it's just, the truth is the truth.
The truth is the truth.
Right? It's just...
And guess what? Now, it's really, when you get to that, when you get there, really is nothing that anybody can say about you. Even if somebody was to gossip about you.
Because you own it.
Because now
you told your story first.
Now you already told it. So it's really, you gossip? Oh, well, it don't matter. Like, I'll tell you. What you want to know? Because, baby, because then you'll start learning even some
Take
more
your power
things
back. Yep.
about you, but also
look at
you'll be
Brittany.
able
I
to
see her hand gestures
help
and her head.
somebody
So
else.
excited.
Because somebody is actually you. Somebody's you right now.
Right.
Somebody's the strong person right? Like, I'm not telling you, somebody's in church hurt just like you right now. So the reason why you gotta get up out of that thing is because you gotta help the next person.
You gotta help. You gotta help you.
You gotta help you.
I've heard this before, and I just was like, how am I supposed to do that?
To conquer you first. To heal that part of you first.
Self-compassion.
And we're only saying that because our ministry is very non-traditional. So the things that I've heard, sometimes I will share when I'm out and be like, yo, like, my church is so dope. Like, somebody got up there and was like, yeah, like, I was straight on crack. Like, I would, no, like, for real. Like, yeah, I stepped outside my marriage, but God turned it around. Like, I had abortion, but God, that's how our ministry is. Right. So the way that even this is set up, that's why it's so open for everybody to be transparent. And so when I've heard people give their testimonies and share, we do that even on this line that we have. It's like, dang, like, because I used to be like that. I didn't want to share nothing. So just recently I did this women's event. I just had to share. I said, I stood up there with tears in my eyes. And I just cried. And then I laughed like, because that's just me.
Gotta be me.
You know what I mean? Listen, and it's okay. But that's my story. So God was like, you ready to share it? I'm ready when you are. Right. You ready to go to the next step? I'm waiting on you. Yes. And I just slowly started doing it. Yes. Then the next week, it was another opportunity. I slowly started doing it. Because this is my life. So this is what helped me. I thought about everything that I went through. And God was like, why are you afraid when it's unto the glory of me? Everything that has transpired in your life is giving me glory. So when you share your story, people are going to be drawn to you. Yes. We on the first episode, I was like, oh, I want to ask her. I hope she share. That's sincere. I want to know. Dad, you went through that? I want to know. You know what I mean? So she said, people may not ask. That's crazy to me. Because if we cool and we friends, but it's a certain person.
That she'll say I'm good, and she'll smile, and you really are convincing. Like, to me, like, you look like you. Well, to her, but I mean, I just met you.
Tore me apart. It's okay.
She just met her too.
Yeah.
Well, we just met her. We all just met her.
Okay, but I mean, to me, like.
Can I come down? We all just met her.
But I don't know. I feel like
we know Kayla forever though.
Because she comments on the podcast, but outside of that, we don't know Kayla.
Yeah.
But she's our sister in our head.
She's our sister. I want Kayla. Kayla did a really good job expressing that. And I think you guys are.
Can we give Kayla a round of applause?
Yeah. Kayla, I'm proud of Kayla, but you guys are excellent.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Like, if I didn't trust people and then I had 3 people like you guys sit across from me, I feel very validated. You know, I mean, like, think about like how hard it is to build trust.
Yeah.
And how easy it could be destroyed, but to know that I'm not alone in my experiences is why we do these things like that, because we want to expose the real parts of us, because that's going to make us better mates and better people.
Yes. Right.
So I think for me, when I'm on a podcast, like, I naturally care about deeper things. So the whole podcast could be like this, and I'll be like, Shay, let's do a role play. And I love that Aisha give us the flexibility, because that's authentic. To really, like, we want to be practical in our approach. So you like, oh, how am I going to do it? I'm like, self-compassion letter, 5 love languages. I got like 3 things, right? Because we don't want to just give people, like, we want to give people keys and tools. So you went right in the therapeutic mode, but it's not for each of us have a different gift, but it all works together for us all to be healed. So, right, she may teach this way, you may teach this way, you might ask a question, but then I'm thinking like, dang, it might, right? So it's just about, like, what I think this show allows people to see is true connection. Yes. And a lot of us, because we're coming out of COVID and a pandemic, we didn't have connection. And we had to sit with ourselves. Well, a lot of us overwork and overfunction. And when I had to sit with myself, I said, oh, this you?
This is not you.
This is me.
This is my life.
This is me outside of there. Like, who am I? What is my identity? You know, and I had to let God change my identity from, like, just being a therapist. So it's not that I'm being smart. No, I'm not just that. Because people will box you, and God says we're this and that. Mm-hmm. So, like, to me, I just want to be a resource to others. I don't want a therapist is like too like, and I'm not attached to a title today. Like, no, I'm just a person that cares.
Right.
Because a title could make you not want to talk to me. So I don't want to, my name, that's why I'm B Money. Because B Money is funny. And B Money got bars.
It's not funny.
And, you know.
but B Money got bars.
She's very to the point.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
B Money's still Brittany. You still are a therapist. You can't help it.
Yeah, I can't help it. But
she's telling me a community liaison is what she is. She's not a therapist.
I'm
right.
Thank you.
You're like, I heard.
But yeah, you know, so Kayla, what I would say to you.
You're so rude.
Because I want to get.
That's not you.
No.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Grow up,
Because
y'all.
these two, they childish.
No, yeah, we beef all the time.
That's why she hating on B Money.
Yeah, she's like my teacher, so she always wants me to be a great student. But then I'm on a podcast and I be rebelling, so it's fine.
And I be rebelling.
Done.
And I do what I want.
And I do what I want.
But you know, Kayla, so thank you for sharing that about your abuse. I don't think that you're alone in experiencing any
At
type
all.
of trauma, so I appreciate you
Because we
sharing
can unpack that another day.
We're gonna unpack that, but I want you to know today that you're not powerless over your abuse, and every time you share, you put the enemy on notice. You know what I mean? That you're not the things that happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just because somebody didn't know how to manage their emotions and anger, and they took advantage of you, that doesn't mean you deserved it. So I want you to know that you didn't deserve the things that happened to you. And you're not powerless.
Thank you.
And, you know, the person that you choose to date next, we're going to look at some of those red flags. And, you know, you're not going to have to save him. But I just pray that you don't have to come to our church, because we're the church, you know. But
We'll come to you.
You know, if you're ever looking for a safe place, you know, people to dump on, you can dump, you can dump on us. You know, because we don't. Guess what? We don't know the people you know. Right. You know what I like about them, and I had to start a writing. They know nothing about me.
Right.
They had all these thoughts. I let them have them. They ain't know me. But
I let them have them. She let you have it.
Yeah. You know, in that I found safety and being able to. It's like you go from high school to college, so nobody know what you did in high school.
Right.
And college, I used to tell
everybody. They only know what you let them know, right?
Right.
You know, but I would say
tell it all.
I have people identify 3 safe people. So, like, who are your safe people? Like she said, she has one. And you know, the Bible talks about confessing our sins one to another. Like, my confession is for me to be healed, not for you to be healed. So this is why it's important, because I like what you said about you're helping you. I thought that was like really powerful. This
y'all strong.
You guys been working together for a while, because you guys we got our own counseling. We got SEN girls counseling group. Y'all need services. We can do group work. I feel like I'm not for you know.
Pop girls coming to a city near you. I know me.
Know your cue, Brittany. Know your cue.
I'm not one for you. I know you're not.
I'm like, what's up?
Okay, you're the buttercup. You're the buttercup of the group. You got to go.
I'm the butter.
Oh man.
I'll be here.
Oh, I'm done with y'all.
I think that
this was hilarious.
Why are you looking at me?
Catherine, go ahead.
No, I love y'all, because I've been there. I think when I first, like, you know, it's been a while. I haven't been around, right? That's why you haven't met me.
Okay.
But I'm still a sis, right?
Yeah.
They love me. But I feel like in the beginning I was like that too. Like, I'm a very private person, and I think that's why this is hard for me, because I'm open, but I'm not open publicly, right? So I do feel a little exposed today. But I feel like when I first started coming around, that I had to learn that, like, be vulnerable and say your truth. I just had to go to Nikki's house like 2 months ago and be like, this is the real truth, sis. Like, I've been holding it and showing face and acting like I got it together, but this is what's really going on. You know what I mean? So I just look at them, because when you're sharing about, like, the good job or the dynamic that's in this room, I feel like it comes from a place of, like, healing and literally trusting them with, like, the ugly, right? The ugly, like the bad and all of that. So I think that I've came a long way being vulnerable, and I think that's why I'm comfortable, even though now I got to go deal with what this looks like after.
You don't got to deal with nothing.
You know, but I feel like it's just,
look at me, about to look,
you know, just being vulnerable.
Like,
but I feel like once you find like your what is it, like, once you find like your group, right, like your tribe, you're gonna be good. You just gotta find people that you can really trust with your heart. Yes. And trust with like those inner workings, you know. And I think you will. And I think that this was definitely meant to be. Like the dynamic of this, like it's just amazing. Like, so I'm appreciative for meeting both of you guys and like for what this journey. And I already asked her to be my mentor, so we about to just have an exchange of information, you know.
Yes.
But I definitely think we should do like a part 2 for sure. I think the beanbag idea was cute.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's
and I think a work group will be perfect. Like a theme, y'all can relate. Come join in the conversation. Like, I'm with it.
Oh yeah, we can do some stuff. Let's do some stuff.
It's gonna shift, y'all.
All right, y'all ready to? Y'all done did another hour.
That's
crazy.
Wow.
To the people. Okay, so let me just tell my story real quick. Okay. Because it's so funny because this person sends me a friend request, so they've been blocked. So I was like seeing someone, right? So I had two experiences. I had one experience where, because I've been doing single exposed network for about 2 years now. Has it been like 2 years, 2.5 years or something? Yeah. Because we started when COVID first hit. So when COVID first hit, we would do the meetings and stuff on Zoom. That's when we first started. It was like, oh, let's just go on Zoom and talk about relationships and this and that. And then we went from there to one of the sisters' basement, then the basement to here, right? But I had two experiences. I had one experience where I was with a guy, and he was just clocking everything I was doing on SEN. So we talked about capacity, right? So it came from, hey, every little thing, it was like, oh, this is good. I love what you're doing. I love what you're doing. God called you to this, right? Then it went from, but what about this? And what about this? Then it was a nitpicking. Okay, I had that experience. So I realized that was like, okay, well, where's that even coming from? Because even if you know me, right? If you know who I am, then you should trust that I am who I am, right? Because look, I'm already, I'm doing stuff for God. Like my personality, my heart. Then you should know who I am. So it shouldn't be any nitpicking going on. It should just be like, oh, you good, you got it, confidence in me. But really, so it was more of a lack of confidence in himself. So then I had that one, but then I had another one. So after that,
so you blocked him.
I dated. Yeah, I blocked him. We were done, and that I was dating him for 3 years. So then that was done, because what God has called me to, it can't be compromised. It has to be come into agreement. Okay. So then I had another one who was the bomb. He said, okay, I'm gonna buy you a lodge. I'm gonna put some money into it. I'm gonna fly people in to be on SEN. So I understood that is what I needed. I needed someone who could rock with me. It was more like, oh babe, you do your thing. I like when you do your thing. Somebody who, he just had this glow on him that I had never seen, because the other guys, even from my kid's father on down, I just remember men just being jealous of him. It was like I never could go up. Because it was like, no, stay down here with me. No. Stay down here with me. Oh, you want to do big things.
Bigger things.
You can't do big things without me.
Yes, I can, and
I always had that problem. Right. So when I met this guy, I'm not dating him now, right? Because the other red flags. But when I met this guy, I understood it was another thing that I said, oh, that's a must-have on my life. That's a freaking must-have. Yes. Because I need you to have that glow when I walk into the room. I need you to have that glow when you see me doing my thing. Right. I want to look over. I could be on the freaking TV at the studio, and you be over there. And when I look over, I need you to have that cheese on you. I need you to have that glow on you. You know what I'm saying? That's a must-have.
If you don't have the "that's my baby face," then you got to go.
Then you got to go. I need my baby face. That's my book.
That's my
and
baby.
And she doing her thing. That's the face that I need. How else can I make it? Do I really want to look over there and see? How else can I make it?
Or how could you say that?
Accomplish my goal.
Right.
How else can I? They talk about, oh, you need to have big dreams, and because they want us to be like that. They want us to be like, go baby go, but they can't do the same. You need to be my biggest cheerleader.
Facts.
You're not secure.
You need to own your mind.
You need to own it. it's gonna work. How else can I get to my goal? And I'm supposed to be with you for a lifetime?
No, thank
And
you.
I love how you exchanged that and added it to your list of must-haves.
Right.
Because when I meet like a different caliber of a man, even if we don't work out, I'll be like, "Ooh, I need that," and it just sets the tone for the next. And then you're closer to like, I don't get disappointed when it don't work out, but I know I'm closer to finding him.
Yes.
You know, so it's a good experience. Like,
and the
Sometimes
perspective
the lessons
too,
are good.
to make
The
a
lessons
decision
are
to
good.
receive like
the takeaways.
that wasn't
The
good.
takeaways.
Yes.
Yes.
Like,
But this is
Takeaways.
good. Let me put this in my pocket. Right?
yes,
Yeah.
like
Yes.
you wasn't the one, but baby, I like this.
Like
Yeah.
I low key am over dating, but I do like that comes from it. I do like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, because you like learn.
That's a dating strategy.
It is, and we
It
didn't get to
is.
it, but that's it,
Attributes.
baby.
Is it
That
dating
is it.
strategy? Because when I was dating this guy, he had so much of the things I was looking for. Because one thing I learned was that I didn't really know me, and I didn't know what I liked.
Mm-hmm.
So then when I did the self-care stuff, okay, I like certain things with myself, but then I didn't know what I liked with a guy and what I really was.
Only what you
expecting
don't
from him.
like from your past experience.
Right,
Yes.
only what I don't like.
Yup.
Yeah.
So then when I dated this guy,
Mm-hmm.
and then after taking the inventory, I'm like, oh, he has so much of what I liked.
Yes, and then you replace
And
it.
then I replaced it. And then I was able to see, so all the things that I couldn't see before,
Mm-hmm.
now I can
And that's
see.
where those boundaries
Right.
come.
And that's where the
where
boundaries
advocating
come.
for
I know.
yourself
Advocating
comes.
for yourself
Yup.
comes.
Meeting
Like,
him where
oh,
he
you
at
don't
and
have to
leaving
must
him
have.
there.
Right.
Yup.
Can't do it.
Hello.
You know, so you don't have to keep on going in
the
these
same
cycles.
cycle.
You caught it.
Yep.
You don't have to
Listen.
keep on going on with these cycles.
That's the
You
word,
don't
y'all.
have
That's
to.
the word.
No.
Now you
It
know
is.
what you know,
Yeah.
and it won't be compromised.
Once you know better, you do better.
Don't you know? No.
All right, y'all. Say bye to them.
Bye.